Legion, it's Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more of The Long Dark in our Against All Odds series. We are trudging our way into Coastal Highway from Mystery Lake. Got stuck in a bit of a blizzard at the bottom of the ravine. I was calling it, in the last episode, the ravine. Hey, Coastal Highway, here it is. I was calling it the ravine, but we were in a ravine in the ravine. Well, actually, no. I think what I was calling it was accurate, because we actually went down into the ravine, whereas the transition zone we were just in is labeled ravine. So we were in the ravine zone, but we weren't in the ravine until we went down the rope. That's what it was. But we went down there, and then there was a bit of a blizzard. Happened on the last episode. It was fun. Go back and watch it if you missed it. If you happen to miss the first episode of this, especially if you're a channel regular and you don't know what's going on, we started a new playlist from the same save that Season 5 of Against All Odds was using. So hopefully that makes sense. Just because we've been gone for a while. And sometimes it's good to just start fresh. Kind of. Because we're not really starting fresh. It's an existing save in a new patch. So it's kind of fresh. It's 50% fresh. Alright, we have a pretty decent hypothermia risk at this point. Gotta get inside. And we're actually going to double back a good ways when I get out of here. We're going to go back towards where we just came in, and then down a slope where there will be more edibles and hopefully more shelter. Speaking of edibles, not just any grape soda. Not just any. It's Stacy's grape soda. There's an inside joke we haven't heard in a while. Matter of fact, I know one person in particular that was waiting for me to make that joke. Who am I kidding? A lot of you were. But remember someone mentioning it not too long ago. You know who you are.
Wonder if the owner's around.
How is the condition on that beef jerky? Pretty good, actually. Hey, okay. Well, let's go ahead. Hang on. What's my thirst? I don't know if I'm quite ready to drink that jerky yet, but those are some decent finds for for this little area here. Okay, so I could take a load off here and recover a little bit, which would probably be smart. I could read for an hour or two. Let's see, which books have I read to any degree? I've got a lot of like shooting guides to read. Research already completed. So we have one shooting guide that I can burn. And one wilderness can... Okay, so this is some of the weight that I can drop. I forgot about that. But I can go ahead and raise my cooking skill a good bit with some of these manuals. So why don't we read for, let's say, 2 hours.
If I don't rest soon, I'm gonna faint.
Okay. So that got my coldness all the way back up. I'm going to drink this soda. I don't think I'm going to worry about eating anything else right now. Well, I'll have a couple of cattails. Because I'm about to find more. But before we actually let Jennifer collapse, we are going to make our way back in the direction I just mentioned. Because there is good reason to. Or is there? Because the weather looks terrible. Looks like that second blizzard is on its way in. But unless it sets in the next couple of seconds, I'm going to press on. Because I'm still quite warm. When shielded from the wind, I'm actually warming up, as you can see there. Shield at the top, full warmth at the bottom. I'm going to try and stay near this cliff as long as I can. And hope for the best. I'm totally fine as long as I stay here. In a second, we're going to veer left. And if you don't know why, you're about to find out. I've got my fingers crossed that we are going to find a lot of good stuff here. Is that coal? Yes. That's coal. For those of you, I don't remember if I'm pretty sure I did actually a couple of times mention this, and I know I mentioned it in community tabs posts, community tabs posts, but we've been watching a good bit of what was originally on the CW, but it's now Netflix, the Vampire Diaries universe of shows, which I was never into before a couple of years ago. Much better alternative to something like, say, Twilight, if you will. But there's a character named Cole. Every time I say Cole in this game now, there's this flash of that character in my mind. Not necessarily a good flash in all contexts. Once you start watching the originals, which is the second show in this particular mythos, originally started from books, of course, but once you start watching the originals, then it's a little bit different. Cole becomes a little bit more likable. But in Long Dark, we always like Cole. Cole is always our friend, particularly when we're playing on Interloper difficulty and we are going to a forge. Then we want all the coal. Yeah, we're going to snag as many cattails as we can here. And by the way, for those of you who are curious what I've been talking about when it comes to the sprain indicator, just keep an eye on the sprain indicator in the bottom right as we go down this reasonable slope and see how often it kind of pops up on the terrain. And continue to, right there, for instance. Don't know where that was, but you get the point. You'll start to notice after a while how frequently that thing is appearing. And that's one of the things that Hinterland is currently keeping their eye on after they hotfixed the initial sprain system release. Because what people were finding was that, as I mentioned a couple of episodes back, and in the first episode of this new season, new half season, I guess, what people were finding was that sprains were actually worse. And one of the things they're watching now is, okay, well, frequency of sprains, like how much can we change, now that we've already kind of changed the frequency, how much can we change the degree of the slope that causes the sprain indicator to pop up? The sprain warning. All right, actually what it is, it's a slope warning. There's two indicators they've added. There's the sprain warning, which pops up when you're encumbered. There it is. That's always there. Which worsens your risks. But then there's the slope warning to tell you, hey, you're on a surface that is likely to cause you a sprain if you slip. Again, genuinely surprised at the number of cattails I'm finding on this level of vegetation setting. I love it, don't get me wrong. My inner cattail addict is real happy. Neck scratching and everything. I have a problem. See, it's funny. In context, for those of you who are watching this series live and know that the series has just come back from the channel's just come back from a long, unexpected hiatus, I make comments like that, and it's going to make some of you wonder. I promise I don't have that kind of problem. I just have a lot of a work problem. A lot of a work problem. Notice I'm not saying problems plural. It's just one thing. It's that whole graduate degree. Who'd have thought that running a YouTube channel and going for a PhD at the same time would be challenging, and that sometimes I would have to put one of them down, which I can genuinely say I've never put the doctoral degree down in favor of the YouTube channel. Love you guys, but yeah. So you now have to go inside, and this track's going to have to stop playing, and that makes me sad. Fresh hatchet, though. we need to prepare some rose hips and other things. I've gathered a lot of those, but I haven't done anything yet. Okay, so now we're indoors. Let's have a look around. See what the world has in store. Nothing. Nothing in store. Nothing at all. Completely empty. Love it. Love every second of it. And by love, I mean hate. Okay. Let's see. Hang on. So I've harvested, or I've picked up a few random clothing items. Let's go ahead and harvest.
I am too tired to think straight.
I know, that's why you're going to rest, and then everything will be better. And then we'll explore the beautiful zone that is Coastal Highway, and probably kill a wolf or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. I can't study while I'm tired, so there's no point in studying, so I may as well go ahead and just sleep. Let's plow through some of these cattails since they're weighing me down at this point. I'm not going to eat those snackables because they have a higher caloric value, and I'd prefer to save those until I either need them or have to eat them because their condition has been reduced. That's another thing, actually, I just remembered. The last episode I was trying to think about, or maybe it was 2 episodes back, but I was trying to think about what are the... Yeah, I think it was 2 episodes back now, but what are the changes that code difference made? You know, when they updated the systems and the custom code, like the letters and numbers changed that you use to get these settings. One of the things that the old code, if you tried to use it in the current version of the game, would do is it would have item decay set to very high, which I don't think it was supposed to be that way. That could have been a mistake on my part, so item decay might be set to very high. Maybe we can go back to the episode 1 and maybe I just don't remember. That's possible. But I currently, in my custom settings for playthroughs that I've done since this, and I'm fairly certain, including this playthrough as well, I prefer the item decay on high. And that's one thing I might mess around with in future playthroughs as well, even though keeping the rest of the difficulty settings will still, you know, be nice and high. Like, I don't know if from a narrative believability standpoint, I like the idea of like clothing items and food items that decay so rapidly. It's like, they would, especially in a world this cold, they would stay in good condition. You know, they wouldn't necessarily be destroyed that quickly. So that's something that I might continue to lower as I mess with my custom difficulty settings. That's one thing that I might play with. Okay, so having harvested that stuff, can I craft? Yes, I can, even though I'm tired. So let's use this daylight to our advantage. Definitely going to prepare some rose hips because this will help reduce my encumbrance. Plus, it'll give me tea to prepare next time I can cook. And this is also passing time. How long is this taking? 15 minutes each? Doesn't feel like... It doesn't... it doesn't feel like 15 minutes is going by, just judging by the timer, but I guess it is. Oh, we've got prepared birch bark as well. Let's go ahead and craft that so that we can make some birch bark tea when the time is right. I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, when you do this 4 times, that's an hour, and then it makes more sense. It's just 15 minutes, so I guess that wouldn't move too much. That's a lovely sound. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Alright, so we're getting reasonably thirsty. Now, preparing the reishi mushrooms, I think, either keeps encumbrance the same, or... I should have checked it right then. Or makes it go up. Preparing rose hips makes it go down. A pile of rose hips of 24 rose hips is heavier than a prepared rose hip item. Okay. So, speaking of encumbrance, we're going to be able to reduce some of that now by just drinking this water. Let's check our calorie load. Oh yeah, we're good. We are golden. Alright, so now it's time to sleep. We're going to sleep for just 10 hours straight. That's not going to get our rest all the way back up. I hear an aurora. Is it still going? Oh, it's still going. Nice. Let's see what we have here. Log 856.doc. With all the lines I put out today, I was happy to get some decent returns. Been a while since I put down numbers like that in my book. It's not anything like a recovery, but it lines up with the idea I've been having about the mainland fleet and their movements. Cool. Thanks for that, default user. Let's step outside really quick and see how things look. Because we're reasonably safe out here. Actually, the trees are blocking most of the view of the aurora, sadly. Oh, good.
Thank you.
That's actually a pretty good condition hatchet. Might be worth just taking that one with me.
Okay, getting a bit thirsty.
Are you? There I go again with the intentional, unintentional Game of Thrones references. It's still on the brain. I can't knock it out of my brain. By the way, if you are a Game of Thrones fan and you've watched Season 8, I'm not going to give spoilers, don't worry. But go to Screen Rant's channel on YouTube and watch their Season 8 kind of parody video. It's amazingly funny. Highly, highly recommended for the Game of Thrones fans out there. Alright, so I think... Hang on, what was the daylight indicator there? Yep, it is officially daylight, which means I can do a couple of things now with my time. I can read until... As I remember which section of the inventory to go to. Where do I read? There we go. There's a book that I'd already started reading. Is it at the end of the list? Is that how it gets stored? Yeah. All right, so let's just do one more hour. All right, fine. One more on top of that. Just because I want the sun to be a little bit higher in the sky. Like that. Perfect. Okay, weather's not great. That's not exactly what I wanted to see, but we will make do. And we will hopefully not sprain ourselves. Because I don't think I have any rosehip tea. No, I don't. I can make rosehip tea, but I don't have any rosehip tea. So if I get a sprain, especially a sprain to my wrist, yeah, that wouldn't go well. Speaking of that, hang on, I just picked up a new hatchet. Yeah, I need to drop one of them. I feel like I want to carry it with me just in case. Because we will be making our way to a spot where we can take advantage of that. This is me walking super wide to avoid that guy right there. Hey, buddy. How's it going? That's a bear. Let's not piss off a bear today. How about that? How about we just keep walking right past this campsite? Normally I'd get that deer meat, but I don't feel like getting that deer meat right now. Hey, deer, you might want to run. You might want to run, dude, because there's a bear walking straight towards you. I kept walking past those cattails because I knew how close I was to that bear. If you were curious what I was doing walking by two perfectly visible cattails, that's because I knew that even though it looked like I was going around the bear, that path and that wall was actually pushing me closer to him. You could probably see that, but for those of you who didn't catch it, yeah. Didn't want to risk that. Hate that the weather's so terrible. We've certainly, on the channel, had warmer welcomes to Coastal Highway than this. I continue to be surprised also at how cold I am. I mean, I'm very well dressed. So this must be the world getting colder quickly. I mean, I've got an expedition parka on, and my clothing is in good condition. The fact that I'm this cold is a little crazy. And I've got the rabbit skin hat. Yeah, this is the world getting cold fast. I haven't done a 100-day run on these difficulty settings, off of YouTube. You guys are watching me play this long term for the first time that I've ever done it. And I mean, there are things that I can do. There are warmer items that I can find for sure that would help keep me warm. And I am walking around a lot in reasonably bad weather, so that could be it too. It might just be bad luck with the weather. But man, thought I saw that. Yay for pop-ups. Alright, so there's Old Man's Beard lichen right there. I should technically grab that, but we're so cold, I just want to keep moving. My condition is still not perfect. My condition recovery, that's one thing that's unique to this difficulty setting. It takes a long time to recover. Drink tea before you sleep and it's easier. See, there's that sprain indicator popping up right there. It makes sense because this is a steep slope, but that's what they're fine-tuning at the moment, is that particular setting. All right, now there's another bear, or it might be the same bear. Actually, I think it's the same bear. One that likes to hang out down here. Now, it seems like the weather is maybe getting a little better. That's a wolf. That's what that is. That's another wolf. Nothing in the trunk. A note left behind. Wes, I'm going to try to make it to Mystery Lake. I'm running low on everything, but we can find enough to get us through till spring, and then we can try to make it back to Calgary. Meet me there. We'll stay for a while, follow the tracks in from the Carter. You'll see the lodge building, but we'll make for the cabins across the lake. Bring anybody you can find. Bring food and a deck of cards. See you soon, Heather. Good job, backer 4675. Nice, simple, atmospheric edition. Oh, hello. Let's hop in the other seat. Give me that Small Arms Handbook.
I can use this.
All right, so yet another book that I need to read. I've got a lot of reading material, that's for sure. All right, that is a fishing hut, not a bear. All right, I need to get to the... Speaking of fishing huts, I think the fishing village is... That's a rabbit. I think the fishing village is right around that corner. See, I'm kind of tempted just to walk out that way and go to the... What is it? Jackrabbit Island? Going out that way? I think it's Jackrabbit, yeah. In case she needed some more disconcerting music. Yes, I'm walking along the rim here because I want to have a clear view of the ice and anything that might be on it. But I'm going to try and avoid the sprain indicator. Because again, I don't have any way to relieve my sprains at the moment. That's one of the things I've got my fingers crossed for, is that there will be some painkillers here, but we'll see. We're just going to have to see. All right, now there could be a wolf. Nearby. Hey, look, a knife, guys. I saw it. Shut your mouths.
Nobody needs this anymore.
Oh, frozen angler. Whetstone. Fine, I'll pick it up. Fine, fine. Fine. Just stay off my back. Alright, so let's search this locker. It doesn't bother me, I'm just joking with you. Hopefully that's clear. I remember watching a video recently. I think it was on the YouTube channel Charisma on Command. Pretty cool channel. It uses fictional examples, like, for instance, speaking of Game of Thrones, Tywin Lannister as an example of commanding respect. That's one example. But anyway, I was watching this channel, and one of the things they talk about is, I don't remember what video this is from, but one video mentioned the importance of sarcasm requiring a tell in order for it to be good sarcasm. In other words, it has to be obvious that you're being sarcastic, like when I'm saying things like, get off my back. And I remember watching that and just going, I don't agree with that sentiment whatsoever. Good sarcasm isn't always when you can tell. Sometimes it requires context, and it requires other people to be present that are going to know you're being sarcastic. That way you can completely disguise your sarcasm without a tell, and it's even better. That's sarcasm to me. And I can do that all the time on the channel. I got 24,000 of you guys to joke around with. As long as you know I'm just kidding. Said Hadrian in his most southern voice possible. I'm from Southern California. Southern California. I'm from Southern California originally. But I've been living in the South for a good while now, so it's going to come out from time to time. It's weird when you live in the South for a while because there are different degrees of the Southern accent, and the stereotypical Southern accent, like what Brad Pitt hilariously tried and failed at doing in, what was it? What was the movie? Quentin Tarantino's... Come on. Inglourious Bastards. Yeah. That accent is not as common, especially in urban areas. And you meet a lot of people who live in the South, who were born and raised in the South, who don't have a perceptible accent. But when you put them with a bunch of people from, say, Southern California, or you put them up in New York, where the accents are pretty strong there too, just different kinds of accents, then the accent is more obvious. But it's interesting when you live down here, because I wouldn't say that I have much of an accent. But I talk to my friends who don't live in the South, who I've stayed in touch with after I moved here, which has been, going on 20 years. And they're like, dude, can you hear your accent? And I'm like, no. Can you? So. I digress. All right, sports socks. I don't think I even need to pick those up. Oh, we're at the 30-minute mark, aren't we? Okay. Well, I will go ahead and stop this one here. Let's step outside and step back inside for a quick save. In the next one, we're going to keep looking around these huts. I guess we've explored them all, but we're going to probably go out to the... what's it called? Jackrabbit Island. And explore those places first, and then go inland to the Quonset area. Hopefully the weather will be kind to us. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. New episodes are coming out every day at 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.